I'm Times Assistant Managing Editor Robert Blaszkiewicz here with Times Editorial Page Editor Doug Ross, and we're going through our endorsements for this midterm election. In this video, we'll be talking about the county races. Let's start off in Porter County with probably the hottest race over there is the commissioner's race between the incumbent Bob Harper, and the Republican Nancy Adams. It's been a vicious campaign.
It has. There have been a lot of negative campaign ads going out in this. It's a very well-funded campaign on both sides. Mm-hmm. There's a lot at stake in this race. Nancy Adams is everybody knows she's her involved in Strongbow. As the big restaurant. Well, actually, that's what got her into the race, I should say, is that she noticed that the property tax bill a couple of years ago, just soared for the restaurant, mm-hmm. and as a consequence, got involved in taking a look at how do we appeal this? This mm-hmm. just doesn't seem right. And based on her experience with that, helped a number of other people that were filing appeals because mm-hmm. They said, hey, you're doing this. What have you learned? Yeah. Help us with the process. So she got to know county government.
A big factor in this race is the RDA issue.
It is the big factor in the race. Harper is a driving force between the attempt to withdraw from the RDA and Adams sees it as a great investment. The county's already has gotten more than it's put into it, and sees it as a jobs issue.
And the Times editorial board has backed the RDA, has backed regional economic development, and so it's not really a surprise who we backed.
Right, we back Adams.
Yeah. Let's move on to stay in Porter County with the sheriff's race between incumbent Democrat Dave Lane and the Republican Ralph Levi.
Right, Levi is running a pretty intense campaign. He's got a lot of yard signs out, and he's making a lot of serious criticisms of Lane. What's interesting is Levi's campaign slogan is experience for a change, underlined experience even, as well as the capital letters. But Lane has been in the law enforcement since 77, 78, somewhere in there. And he's been, sheriff for 4 years, was the number 2 guy in that department mm-hmm. for 8 years before that. Yeah. So we backed Lane.
And then the sheriff's race in Lake County may not be as competitive just because of the nature of Democratic stronghold of Lake County, but that's former Sheriff John Buncich he's trying to gain that post again, going against Republican Dan Bursack.
And Bursak's not bad. We endorsed Buncich with some reservations.
With strong reservations.
With strong reservations, but and the reservations are during Buncich's first time in office, he made a lot of political blunders that he really has to avoid this time. Now, he says he's learned from his mistakes. We're just going to have to take him at a word and hold him accountable if he doesn't.
Let's hope that's true. Usually the sheriff's the high-profile race, but in Lake County this year, it's not like other years. We've seen another race become the high-profile race.
The assessor's race. I mean, this is a race where the assessor doesn't set policy at all. I mean, it really probably ought to be an appointed position. Mm-hmm. In fact, the Kernan Shepherd Commission on the Indiana Commission on Local Government Reform, strongly recommended that this be an appointed position. But here we are with Carol Ann Seaton, the Democrat. She, surprised the political machinery mm-hmm. By defeating Randy Guernsey in the primary, and now is running against Republican Hank Adams. Hank Adams has, a long history in St. John Township of being a very good, respectable assessor. In fact, St. John Township has more parcels and a higher assessed valuation than a lot of entire counties in Indiana. So we like that. And Seaton's had a lot of controversy.
Right, so we're backing Adams. In Porter County, the assessor's race, Republican John Snyder and Democrat Mo Wendricks, both trying to take that seat for the
Right.
first time.
Mo Wendricks is a Portage Township assessor. That's the only township in Porter County that has a separate township assessor from the county assessor. And Snyder is does real estate appraisals rather than assessments.
Okay.
We back Snyder because he's a newcomer to it.
Okay, let's go through real quickly our endorsements for Lake County Council. District 1, Democrat Michael Repay against Republican Michael Gramhofer.
We backed Repay.
And in District 4, we have Republican Dan Dernolk, Democrat Thomas O'Donnell, and Libertarian David Tyson.
Dernolk's good. This is one of those races where we kind of wish that the districts allowed, more mixture of the blood. Dernolk's good, but O'Donnell is even better. He's done a lot.
That was kind of
He's been a voice of reason on the council.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough call. Kind of a tough call for other reasons in District 5. The Democrat incumbent Christine Sid being challenged by Republican Darrell Tunis and Libertarian Janine Kirkpatrick.
Right. What it came down to is Tunis and Kirkpatrick are really not ready, and Sid, we just have a problem with someone who is a county employee serving on the county council.
So we did not endorse in that race. District 6, the Democrat incumbent Ted Bilski going against Republican Rick Holtz and Libertarian Ryan Stewart.
We didn't endorse in that one either. We've got some concerns about Bilski again, and Bilski is a union rep who works with some of the county employees. So.
Yeah. District 7, Republican Rick Niemeyer being challenged by Democrat Wendy Vandertook and Libertarian Janice Glukert.
Another tough one. Vandertook, is ripe for public service. Has some pretty intriguing ideas. Niemeyer has a lot of experience and, is a known quantity. We endorse Niemeyer.
That'll take care of Lake County and Porter County. Just 2 races on the county council. District 1, a real intriguing matchup between the Democrat incumbent Bob Paparad and a former county commissioner, Republican Jim Biggs.
Right. This is again one of those where maybe in a couple of years Biggs ought to run for one of the at-large seats on the council. Right. He's got a lot of experience. Paparad has been one of the reasonable voices on the council, and needs that.
So we endorse Paparad for his performance, not so much for any shortcomings from Biggs, because we like him as well. District 4, Republican Jim Polarek and Democrat Marilyn Johns, who's served a partial term.
Right. Johns has kind of suffering from the same attitude that a lot of council candidates and incumbents have, and that's, we will deal with the issues as somebody brings them to us. We're very receptive and so forth, but she's not aggressively going out, with her own ideas or seeking ideas. Polaric owns a small business, is, lived in South County seemingly forever, and really knows his stuff. He's impressive.
Well, that's the county races. We covered federal and state races in other videos, so if you want to take a look at those, you can view those on nwi.com/elections as well. And thank you for watching, and we encourage all of you to vote on November 2nd.